On this day in 1996, the world escaped the clutches of extinction.
Your father was the bravest man I've ever seen.
Because our survival is only possible when we stand together.
They're coming back. Shouldn't we be nervous? Yeah.
It's the 4th of July. So let's show them some fireworks.
The idea to do a sequel came a little bit like because I was doing other films, and I realized how rapidly, you know, visual effects developed, and how when I did the first one, I was quite frustrated about, you know, I mean, models is a great romantic things, but it's also like very limiting. And then you all of a sudden say, oh my God, I can do whatever I want now.
About 3 years ago, Dean Devlin and Roland, together, they created the first one. They cooked up this one too. Called me up and said, let's have dinner. We want to do this sequel. It's a continuation. We think we got a good story, and the technology is such now that we think we can provide, you know, produce something that's good. And I was thrilled.
The first film, you know, was so iconic, and I guess anytime you're doing a sequel, you know, you obviously don't want to mess it up. But you know, with something like this, you want to do justice to the previous film and the fan base that's already there. And I guess there's, in a way, a little more pressure because it's a sequel.
We're going to survive!
It was a surprise, a complete surprise. I was able to talk to Roland about the script and the fact that he wanted me in his film. But I was very excited just to have that experience for the first time. It was a big scale. It was a huge scale for me.
Look, the Roswell crash in '47, the farmer who made contact drew the same circle. And every time I interview one of my patients and show them this, they all express the same emotion.
Fear. And I don't think it's a circle. The night the ship turned on, I experienced the strongest vision I've ever had. And I drew this.
The reference, which is a very charming one, the reference that Roland had was François Truffaut in Rencontre du Troisième Type, Close Encounters. So I don't know if I was any close to that, but that kind of French scientist.
These movies, they become very fast, very stiff, and very kind of bloodless when you're not like kind of encourage the actors to kind of give their you know, own ideas.
When I first read the script, the character felt a little sort of straightforward and down the middle, and I wanted to just make him not sort of, you know, not the typical courageous hero. I wanted to make him fun and likable and try and bring, you know, as much lightness to all the scenes as we could.
Hold on! After the Great War of '96, they gave me the directorship, so-called, of the Earth Space Defense Organization. And so it's my job to keep everybody safe. And I don't think military strategy or arms buildup is my character's stuff of his dreams, but I use this new technology for climate change solutions and energy challenge solutions, and I get to direct a whole planet which is now unified.
The most interesting idea was for me, you know, that this world stays united because they know they're coming back, which is like an interesting thought when you think about it. Okay, so you know the aliens are coming back, you don't know when, so you prepare yourself and you like kind of, you stay all united, there is no more wars between us, there's only like the common interest in defending the planet.
It's gotten worse, much worse. Mr. President?
Dr. Oken.
Why are they screaming?
No. They're not screaming.
They're celebrating.
I think you have to bring the old characters back, but I also kind of thought the fresh blood was interesting for me. So it was a cool I had both.
Well, Roland's quirky and, you know, will shout out something funny from across set. And he won't walk over to you and say it, he'll just shout it out. Okay, thank you, Roland. But yeah, no, between him and Jeff and Bill Pullman, there's so many great people on set at all times. Roland does these sorts of films, I think, the best. He makes things feel epic and big.
He was a master symphony conductor and chef of the balance of tone, whereby it didn't take itself too seriously, and there were moments of fun and humor, but that it wasn't just, but that it was believable in some way, and the characters going through it had to act it as well as they could and try to live through it.
That is definitely bigger than the last one.
Roland still had, for me, a sort of European spirit or culture also. And it meant that I could, there was some kind of link for me. And I felt very, very much understood.
I always pride myself that my shoots are super relaxed and everybody likes each other, and I'm like kind of easygoing person. I'm not yelling around or anything. I'm more laughing. I always want to have a good laugh. That's for me more important. And you know, it's like, and we do a lot of improvisation and we try to keep it light.
Don't worry, we're in a controlled dive. Falling, it's called falling. No, controlled dive.
It's an amazing thing. I mean, just what if we'd been invaded 20 years ago, and what if they come back this time? But the ship itself is the size not of just a major city, but of the Atlantic Ocean. And they had renderings, and Roland had, renderings and, pre-visualization things that he could show us. And yeah, it was an amazing kind of huge scope and epic vision that he had.
I always make big production paintings, so the whole crew sees what the style of the movie should be. It's important for the visual effect houses, it's important for the production design, it's important for everybody, and also for the actors, because then they can see like kind of these big images, already in a relatively photoreal way displayed, and that helps a lot.
In some ways, doing things like this where you're on blue screen and you don't have to wait for another actor to react. You can just, you take your own cue and go as big as you want. And that was kind of the feeling behind all the flying scenes, was just go big and, do it when it feels right, and you don't need to wait for another cue.
Dylan, that's me, 12 o'clock. Come on, come on. Oh, back left.
Well, I didn't have to do all the, the fighting against blue screens and all of that. I didn't have to do. So I was in real places. The spaceship was real. Jeff made it a lot of fun because he was very, very entertaining. He was singing all the time, and it was a very funny shoot.
Working with someone like Jeff Goldblum, he always makes it exciting. He has so much energy, and he loves acting, he loves making movies, and he cares about every little aspect of what's going on in the scene, and why we're there and where we're going and what everything means. And
I get thrust into these extraordinary circumstances, and that's interesting. And then I've got a romantic heart and a deeply sensitive, volatile, passionate side, of course. And then when under pressure, I seem to have some untapped bravery in me. So all those are interesting to me.
We're going down!
We never had a chance.
I think it has everything the first film had, and more. So yeah, hopefully it has that same feeling for a younger generation.